The history of tapping is really a fascinating story. There was a psychologist whose name was Dr. Roger Callahan back in the late 70s, and he was working with a woman named Mary who had a water phobia, super intense water phobia. She would break out in a sweat if she bathed her children, saw the rain, went to the ocean, just really, truly out of control phobia. He'd been working with her for over a year and decided to try exposure therapy. Dr. Callahan had a pool in his backyard in his home office, and he said, Mary, I want you to come with me and look at the water. How do you feel? She said, well, I feel like I'm going to throw up. So Dr. Callahan had recently started meridians, just barely starting to learn about that. And he said, Mary, I want you to tap underneath your eye. So that's the end of the stomach meridian, I understand. A few seconds, Mary said, oh gosh, I think I feel really different. And he said, look at the water. Oh, I don't feel like throwing up anymore. Oh, actually, I don't have any fear anymore. And she waded in the pool. That was the end of that phobia for Mary. Pretty miraculous. Dr. Callahan went on to learn more about meridians, and he called it TFT, or thought field therapy. Started teaching classes. And he had different algorithms, different patterns for different emotions, right? He was a psychologist. It was only emotions. So it was one pattern for anger, one pattern for frustration, one pattern for guilt, whatever that was. Anyway, started teaching classes. A engineer from Stanford, Gary Craig, came along and said, I think it must be easier than that. Gary Craig discovered the same 9 points work for every single thing in the same pattern. Doesn't matter what it is, it works for that. So it got really super simplified, now called EFT. Common name now is tapping, and that's how it's been since the 80s. Here we are in 2025, and it's still miraculous.